It's almost impossible to escape the conversation around student loan forgiveness these days. On August 24th, President Joe Biden announced what millions of Americans have been waiting years to hear: the possibility of cancellation of their student loan debt up to $20,000. During his speech, he announced that 45% of student loan borrowers could see up to all of their debt wiped away, with 95% of borrowers benefiting from the student loan forgiveness in one way or the other. But of course, there's a catch. Not everyone's gonna qualify for student loan forgiveness. And for those that do, you don't wanna be in the group that's sitting around waiting for the government to lend you a helping hand, because it probably won't come.
How exactly will the student loan relief program be implemented? And what all do I need to do to make sure I qualify?
If you have student loans, you probably have a lot of questions around if you actually qualify and what all you have to do to see a payday. Well, I'm Jeremiah, and in less than 4.5 minutes, I'm gonna explain to you all that you need to know about the student loan relief program. If you find yourself in the qualified bucket, stick around to the end, because I'm gonna share with you exactly what you need to do to make sure that you get the money coming to you. Let's jump right into it. Regardless of how you feel about President Biden's decision, if you qualify, take the money. The government is rarely giving out money left and right, so if you don't take the money, it's kind of like winning at the casino and leaving the money there for the next person. To qualify for the first $10,000 of the student loan relief program, your income as a single filer needs to be below $125,000 a year, or $250,000 if you're filing jointly. Now, the government tried to make this a little bit easier for higher earners, so you only have to prove this income within the years of 2020 or 2021. For example, let's say you're married and your take-home pay for the year of 2020 gross was $300,000. Well, during COVID, your restaurant had to let some people go because you had to shut down. So your income for that year was $225,000. So if you filed jointly, you would actually qualify for loan forgiveness by using your 2021 year, because your income was below the threshold for that year. This will likely be a common case for people that are business owners and have student loans, and also for those that were out of work due to these same businesses having to close up shop. So the chart shown here is census data, and it's adjusted for inflation, and it represents individual incomes between 2020 and 2021. If you look, you can see that roughly 90% of the population will fall under the $125,000 threshold if they filed single. One key thing to note is that you get up to the $10,000. So if your loan balance is less than that, then you could see it as your loan being paid in full. You only get up to the $10,000 if your loan balance is greater than that amount. To qualify for the second $10,000, you will need to be a Pell Grant recipient. If you aren't familiar with how Pell Grants work, the purpose is to target students with the greatest financial need, meaning students coming from lower and moderate income backgrounds. The cutoff is $60,000 for that student's family household. According to the Institute of College Access and Success, there were a little over 917,000 Pell Grant recipients. 80% of those recipients who graduate from four-year colleges will have loans. This group will have on average $4,500 more than non-Pell Grant recipients, and is really the motivation behind the government giving this group an extra $10,000. And similarly to the first level, if you have less than $20,000 in outstanding loan balance, then your loans are paid in full. You only get the full $20,000 if your loans are greater than that amount. The department estimates that with both of these qualification levels, we could see 20 million borrowers see all of their loans completely wiped away. Those are the two levels of qualification. Now, for both levels of forgiveness, you will need to have a loan that was issued before June 30th of this year. Now, the federal loan types include direct loans, both subsidized and unsubsidized, direct plus loans for grad students and parent borrowers, and direct consolidation loans. Any of these loans that were in default are covered as well, including Perkins loans and FFELs, which are federal family education loans. Now, I know I keep adding more and more on to the qualifications, but here's the most important thing. If you hold any of these loans, they must be held by the government to qualify. Many FFELs are backed by the government, but held by private institutions. If you do have an FFEL that is private, you need to consider consolidating it into a direct loan to access the student loan forgiveness. This is a special case where the administration is actually allowing you to do so. So you are allowed to have a new loan after June 30th, as long as it falls into this category. It is definitely worth looking into if you have an FFEL. Of course, run the numbers to make sure it'll still make sense, but more than likely it probably will. And again, private student loans will not qualify. Even if it was a federal loan and you consolidated it privately, I'm sorry. If you can't quite remember whether your loans were private or held by the government, you can log into studentaid.gov, link down in the description below. Create an account if you don't already have one, and you can view what loans you may have held by the government there. If you made it to this point in the video, you now have a solid understanding as to what it looks like to qualify for student loan forgiveness. Congratulations to you if you found yourself in the group qualifying for one of these rare checks from the government. Here is what you need to do to make absolutely sure that you get your money. According to a press briefing from the government, there's gonna be an application that goes live in early October that you will need to fill out to make sure that you are in the system to receive student loan forgiveness. It's also mentioned that it will take around 4 to 6 weeks before you receive your relief. So early October is kind of vague, right? And it's the government. So the Department of Education actually has a website where you can sign up for a notification to ensure that you know when that application goes live. I actually included that link in the description below, and while you're down there, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to make sure that you get a second reminder from me on when that application goes live. Now, if you fill out this application before November 15th, it has been stated that you can expect to receive relief before January. This is gonna be very important for people that are very close to paying off their loans, and this check could potentially do that, or for anyone that's gonna be seeing their student loan payments resumed in January, and they want their monthly payments to be lower. But don't worry, if you do miss this date or it's not really that important to you to get it in by then, the Department of Education is planning to keep it open until the end of next year. So you have a little bit of time. Some people will automatically be entered into the system to qualify for student loan forgiveness, but I wouldn't trust that. It doesn't hurt to fill the application out. I promise you, you will be hitting yourself on the head if you miss out on your relief because you thought the White House had your back. These types of things don't come around too often. So if you qualify, take the money, and take the money ASAP.
As soon as possible.
Now, you might, like I have, seen some news around student loan forgiveness and it potentially being challenged in court. You don't have control over that. All you can do is fill out that application and be ready to receive the money if you qualify. If this video provided you value and you're looking for other straight to the point strategies on how to get debt free, check out the video here on how to hack balance transfers to pay $0 in interest on credit card debt. Thanks for watching.